Broadcasting from Cincinnati,
you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib, and we have a great show for you today. And if you want to call in and ask questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857, and we'll be here till about 9 o'clock tonight. And today, we're going to talk about Beeb. It's that time of year again. Hall of Fame ballots are out, and we'll tell you who's on it, man. I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
Beeb, I also had trouble this week. There are multiple train wrecks of the week. I can't even narrow it down. Our entire news and rumors section could be a train wreck.
That's correct.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I have it on good authority that the phones are working this week, so you can definitely call in. All right? So there you go. But first, we're going to get started with the big fight. Sergiy Derevyanchenko versus Gennady Golovkin. Triple G for the vacant IBF middleweight title. Triple G wins a very disputed unanimous decision over Sergiy Derevyanchenko by the scores of 115-112 twice and 114-113. I had the fight 115-112 for Derevyanchenko. I thought Triple G faded in the middle rounds. Derevyanchenko, I thought, was just way too busy for him. You know, he was winning rounds based on activity and effective aggression. He was able to back Triple G up. He hurt him to the body quite a few times in that fight. Once really bad, that left hook to the liver one. I don't know what round. I forget what round it was in. I think it was in the middle rounds. He hit him with that left hook to the liver, and Triple G looked like he was going to go down. I mean, that was a pinpoint shot, man. Derevyanchenko was knocked down in the first round. Looked like a flash knockdown to me. It wasn't anything major. He didn't look too hurt in there. He was cut in the second round. It was a bad cut right over the eye. It looked like it was actually more in the corner of the eye. I don't think it was as bad as I don't think it was too bad, but you know, again, it wasn't in a great spot, put it that way. I gave him the first and second. I gave Triple G the first and the second rounds. After that, I gave Triple G 2 more rounds in the fight, and that was it. I thought Derevyanchenko, he really impressed me last night. He fought a great fight. I thought he did more than enough to win. After the fight, Eddie Hearn came out and said that Triple G was sick prior to the fight. He didn't look good to me on the walkout, and quite honestly, it doesn't surprise me that he was sick. That being said, he lost the fight, and he would also lost the fight if he was 100%. Derevyanchenko is just a bad style matchup for him, and Derevyanchenko, if they rematch, Derevyanchenko will beat him again. It's a bad style matchup for him. He's too young. Derevyanchenko's too young. He's too quick. He's too strong. And, you know, he may not be stronger than Golovkin, but he's strong enough. He's strong enough to hurt him. So I definitely think that, Derevyanchenko was the winner last night. I was surprised. I was really, really surprised at the scorecards. Listen, and we try not to criticize other people's scorecards here, but I don't understand how anybody had it for Golovkin. I really don't, man. I just it's one of those things, you know. And Beeb, you brought up a great point when we talked about this just a few minutes ago. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna let them in on it here. When we talked about Eddie Hearn coming out and saying Triple G was sick before the fight, and I do believe he was sick. I mean, like I said, when I saw him, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it too. When I saw him on the ring walk out, I looked at him and I said, he don't look right. He doesn't look right. He didn't look right in the dressing room. I didn't like his body language. He didn't look right. And, so it doesn't surprise me that he was sick. But Beeb brought up a great point, too. Beeb said, hey, well, that he may have been sick, and, but he got a knockdown in the first round. That's a 10-8 round to Triple G. And he also had to fight the entire fight, basically the entire fight, with a cut that he got in the second round. So that pretty much evens the playing field.
Oh, yeah. That was just an unlucky shot. He didn't really get hit with a hard shot.
Yeah.
But it's not how hard the shot is. It's where you get hit, because there's not much tissue here, on your eye. So there's not much, fat or whatever to cushion that area of your face. So it's very easy, depending on how your facial structure is built. But look at my eye, like my eye sockets and stuff. Like I have like really protruding eye sockets, so it would be very easy for me to get cut above my eye if someone just scrapes it the right way. It doesn't matter how hard the punch is. But with that being said, it's just being irritated by the blood flowing in my vision. Obviously, that would be a horrible thing to have to overcome throughout the course of a 12-round fight. And I'm sure Derevyanchenko knows that firsthand after what happened last night.
Yeah, where was the cut at? Was it over the eye, or was it more on the corner, or like?
It was kind of like right on the brow. I thought, like right under the brow.
Yeah, that's a bad
It was
spot.
It was in the worst possible spot.
Yeah. I couldn't tell last night where the cut was, whether it was like on that corner, because when they were working on it, it looked like it was on the corner, but I couldn't really tell. But it's a cut. It's a cut right on your eye, and like you said, it's gonna impair you somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Merv just made a great point in the chat. Shout out to Merv the Cutman, young Merv the Cutman. If the glove pulls the skin and it tugs at the skin, causing it to kind of rip from, rip away and tear, then you're gonna get cut and you're gonna bleed. It's just the way the glove hits the tissue, and how it scrapes and rips and tears it. So I'm not taking anything away from Golovkin, but he landed the shot. He caused the cut, but once again, in the same situation with the Tyson Fury Wallin fight, the punch that caused the cut was not, a real telling blow that hurt Derevyanchenko, just like that punch didn't really hurt Fury. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and like you said, it wasn't but I did give him the second round. I gave him the first 2 rounds.
I gave him the first 2 rounds as well.
And I think I gave him here, let me see. I got my scorecard here. Let's see here. I gave Triple G the 7th round, the 11th round. I gave him the first 2, round number 7 and round number 11. And those 2 rounds, I thought that 7th round in that 11th round, I thought the 11th round was pretty clear for Triple G, but that 7th round I thought could have went either way. I thought that Triple G eked it out, so I gave him the round. But yeah, man, I mean, it was if you were giving him rounds, you were looking for rounds to give him, I think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he was doing more than enough. Derevyanchenko was way busier, I thought.
Here's the problem with a lot of people when they score fights, and even the announcers while they were broadcasting.
Oh, they were terrible. God, they were terrible.
Like Triple G would have a good 45 seconds of the round, and that would be enough to give him the round. Like everything Triple G did. Oh, look at that right hand pushing Derevyanchenko back, and Derevyanchenko was like walking through the right hands. Like when you saw Derevyanchenko landing the shots, he was actually pushing Golovkin back and forcing Golovkin to hold. This was the first time in a fight I've ever seen Golovkin in certain spots of this fight go into survival mode. And
that body shot. What do you remember? What round that body shot hit him?
I want to say it was in the 7th or 8th. I can't remember.
I thought it might have been the 8th or something like that. I know it was like the mid rounds, but that body shot he hit him with was right on the button. I mean, that was a liver shot. It was right on the button, and you saw it. I mean, you saw him go backwards. And I tell you what, if Derevyanchenko could have followed up, he would have put him down. He could have put him down, man.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, even Chris Mannix had the fight for Derevyanchenko.
Yeah.
And he's the most. The whole DAZN team is.
They're all homers.
They're all homers. They're excessively biased, extremely biased towards Golovkin or whoever the house fighter is, whether it be Canelo or Joshua, whoever the house fighter is, whoever is signed to DAZN, these guys got their pom-poms out, in full effect. We know that, right? And round after round, even Mannix is giving Derevyanchenko rounds. And then you hear Brian Kenny say, well, Chris, that kind of could have gone either way, right, Chris? Like, he was almost trying to talk him out of giving the round to fucking Derevyanchenko. And you have to ask yourself, would Mannix's scorecard have even been wider if he didn't have the influence of the other two jamokes over his shoulder? Well, that could have gone either way. Like even Sergio Mora had the fight for Derevyanchenko, but he had it for Derevyanchenko for a stupid reason. Oh, well, He had to overcome adversity, so he won the fight. Once again, everyone has a right to their own opinion. Okay? But I also have a right to criticize your opinion as well. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you're going to have an opinion, you need to have an informed opinion. Like, I don't know anything about nuclear physics. So there's no way I'm going to walk up to a nuclear scientist and try to debate him about nuclear physics. So if we're talking about a fight, and I actually scored the fight round by round, and I'm having a conversation with somebody that didn't score the fight, and I ask them, well, how did you have it? Who do you think won? Well, I didn't actually score the fight, but to me it looked like so and so won. Nah. You can't say that. Can the three judges turn in a blank scorecard and say, well, I didn't really score it, but,
looks like.
It looks like the other guy won.
Yeah.
Again, people want to talk about, the criteria for scoring a fight. There's no such thing as winning the story of the fight. There's no such thing as giving a guy extra points for overcoming adversity. Even if a guy scores a knockdown, if he still loses 7 rounds, okay, he doesn't win the fight even with the knockdown, okay? Georgie, my opinion is worth more than yours because you don't score fights. You don't have a scorecard for this fight. I do. You don't have. I can show you my scorecard and read off the round for round, and I can break down why I gave Derevyanchenko rounds. You can't do that. So my opinion is more credible than yours because you don't score fights. And you said that you openly said that you don't understand the four categories of the criteria of scoring boxing. You don't use that. You don't use that, which you're supposed to use. So your opinion is not valid. If you don't score fights and you didn't score this fight and you don't have a scorecard, then your opinion is not really that important right now. I'm sorry.
I gotta agree.
I'm sounding like a jerk and I'm sounding like an asshole and I'm sounding arrogant. But you didn't score the fight.
If you don't score the fight, how can you tell me who won the fight?
You don't understand because you didn't score it. You said the fight was a robbery at the end of it. Now you're just being a contrarian. You're just trying to troll. What was your scorecard? How did you have it? I didn't score it. You've been doing that for years. So your opinion's not going to hold that much weight if you didn't score the fight. I'm sorry.
Let me say,
you do agree with it because you said that the fight was a robbery at the end. I have the chat. I can screenshot it where after the fight, when the decision was announced, you called it a robbery. So now you're just basically trying to be a contrarian. You're trolling right now, and you're losing credibility by the seconds. And you're making an ass of yourself.
Young Merv, thank you so much, man. He says, thanks, Beeb, for putting Georgie in his place on boxing knowledge. No disrespect, Georgie, but Beeb is right.
Raf, you and I disagree vehemently on everything. But you know what? I have the utmost respect for Raf because Ralph does research. I think he's biased, but he still does research. He still scores fights, and he explains himself. He can articulate himself properly. He doesn't come on here and go, oh, fucking mafia. That's not intelligent debate. I'm calling you out, bro. That's not intelligent debate. Now, if you came out and just said you were, I'm sorry, Eric. If you came out and just said, I'm a casual fan. I'm a casual MMA fan. Okay? But even I score MMA fights. But again, I don't really know MMA as well as I know boxing. I can concede that point. So that's the thing. I mean, Golovkin was getting credit for doing 45 seconds of work, and Derevyanchenko was winning the remainder of the round. That's not how you score a fight. They were going out of their way looking for reasons to give Golovkin rounds. He was getting outworked. And who the fuck were those punch stat guys? You heard the broadcast crew even say during the fight, "Oh, Golovkin's only throwing one punch at a time. Oh, Derevyanchenko seems to be outworking him right now. So if he's outworking him and Golovkin's only throwing one punch at a time, how is he throwing and landing more punches than Derevyanchenko?" Now, if you want to count, it made no sense. And that jab wasn't that same type of jab that was in the Canelo fights. The Canelo fights, the jab was a real authoritative snapping jab.
Yeah.
In this fight, it was a get off me punch. It was a defensive punch. He wasn't backing up. He was retreating in this fight. Ring generalship. Derevyanchenko won that battle because he was forcing Golovkin back, had him on his heels, and everybody knows Golovkin cannot fight going backwards. Defense. You watch how Derevyanchenko would step off to the side, step around Golovkin, and Golovkin was missing shots. Look how many times he got up underneath Golovkin's wide swinging hooks. He won the battle of defense. Clean punching. He was snapping Golovkin's head back. Golovkin wasn't snapping his head back and landing his clean as much as Derevyanchenko was. So he won the battle of clean punching. He won. You take every category of the criteria, he won every bit of it. He swept across the board all 4 categories. There's not one thing in that fight that Golovkin did better than Derevyanchenko. Not one.
Burgess Meredith has a question here. He says, can it be said that a great fighter can make adjustments to win a fight even if he's past his prime? Yes, it can. And it can be said, but it didn't happen last night. I didn't see any adjustments by Golovkin.
No.
And let me tell you what, that trainer, Jonathan Banks, is worthless in that corner. He is completely, it's such a lousy fit. It's just a bad fit for Golovkin. It really is. He really needs somebody like a Garcia or somebody like that to get in there with him. But that's a bad fit. But I'll be honest, even if he went back to Abel Sanchez or got Garcia or anybody else, he's still looking the same.
And here's
he's on the slide, son.
Well, here's the thing, Eric. He never really started fighting the upper echelon until he was 34, 35. So
yeah, I mean,
but
that's like
think about but let's be honest. Look at.
I see what you're saying, but
now,
he was avoided.
Okay, but Jacobs wanted to fight him for the longest time.
Yeah.
Now Canelo did wait.
And I thought Jacobs won that fight, by the way.
Yeah, Jacobs won that fight. I thought Billy Joe Saunders kind of avoided him, and Canelo kind of avoided him. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But but regardless, these guys are a big step up in opposition compared to guys like Lemieux's a good fighter, but Jacobs is way better than Lemieux. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Canelo is way better than Lemieux.
Right.
Derevyanchenko's way better than Lemieux. So who was the best fighter that Golovkin ever fought? Can you name anyone on Golovkin's resume that was even close to a Jacobs, a Canelo, or a Derevyanchenko?
No.
Or a Billy Joe Saunders?
No.
Or a Demetrius Andre? No. So we can't say this with 100% certainty, but if he's getting smacked, if he's getting hit by guys like Willie Monroe at will, but Willie Monroe just doesn't have the power to hurt him, then who's to say if he fought these guys at the time he fought Willie Monroe, the same thing wouldn't have happened? That's an argument that could be made. Maybe this guy was being said to be the best middleweight, one of the best middleweights of all time. Now again, he's a good fighter. Taking nothing away from, he's a good fighter. He's not a bad fighter. He's a good fighter. But once again, he's overrated. That doesn't mean that he's a bad fighter, but he's overrated. He's overrated.
I don't know, man. I mean, anybody with 20, what was his streak? 25 straight knockouts or something crazy.
But what happens if he fights those guys?
And I'll tell you, you can argue.
In fight 16, fight 17, fight 18, and fight 19.
We don't know. Unfortunately, we'll never know.
We don't know, but
you know what?
We could make an
we
argument.
both had him beating Canelo, though, in that first fight.
We did.
And so he clearly,
115, 113. Yeah, he won the first.
I thought he won the first fight pretty handily.
I thought he won it.
I didn't think it was that close, to be honest with you. I thought he won it pretty handily.
I still thought it was close. But I thought he won.
So I mean, for us to say, I think that he's overrated. I don't know if I won't go there.
I'm gonna explain to you why he's overrated. Is he one of the best middleweights of all time?
I think he might be. Yeah, I think he is.
I
think he's up there with Hagler. I think he's up there.
No, no way.
Carlos
No way.
Monzon. I mean, what about Carlos Monzon? Would you consider him a great middleweight?
Yes. All those guys would beat Golovkin. Here's the problem with Golovkin, Eric. The guy, he has a lot of flaws. Like,
sure.
when you compare him to these other guys, Marvin Hagler could switch things up. He could box and he could slug. He could counterpunch. Like, Golovkin can't fight backing up. He doesn't have good head movement. Okay? Doesn't have great foot speed. Doesn't have great foot movement. I mean, he's good at his strengths. He's a good puncher. Okay? He has a good jab. But those guys could do way more things than him. Way more things than him.
But look at Felix Trinidad. We would all consider him a great welterweight, no? Consider him way up there.
But he's not an all-time great welterweight.
He's way up there, though. He's pretty high up there.
I would name a lot of guys better than him.
I can name a lot of guys better than him, too. I mean, You're right. But a lot of people consider him one of the greats. They do.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer?
He's not an all-time great. He's a great fighter of his era, but he's not an all-time great. Like, Ray Leonard would beat him. Tommy Hearns would beat him. Roberto Duran would beat him.
Beat who? Trinidad?
Yes. In my opinion.
That's tough to say.
Pernell Whitaker in his prime would beat him.
It's tough to say.
Those guys, look what Hopkins did.
Because, Hopkins is a different animal, man. Hopkins is the all-time great. I think Hopkins beats everybody.
Look what a 37-year-old Hopkins did to him. He undressed him.
You're talking about, but you're talking about the guy.
Once again, I love
middleweight.
Trinidad.
But he was middleweight, but he was middleweight, too.
Okay, but Trinidad was a 4-1 favorite in that fight.
For sure.
I picked him to knock out Hopkins. I was wrong.
I thought he was going to win. I thought it was going to be a close fight, though. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the knockout.
I'll tell you all the guys I think that would beat Trinidad. Benitez. Okay? Leonard. Hearns. Duran. Mayweather. Prime Whitaker. You can argue that De La Hoya beat him.
It's a tough argument. It's a tough argument to say what past people would have beaten him, because I always go back to my same argument when it comes to this. We always go back to that same argument. Athletes over time. The 27 Yankees are probably considered the best team in history, the best baseball team in history.
Right.
There is no way they could even compete on any stage now. None. And in boxing, it's a lot of the same thing where, these guys may have been great back then, but athletes get stronger, they get faster. When people develop over time, they don't get slower and less athletic. They get more athletic, they get more explosive.
But
styles.
Here's the problem with Trinidad. He wasn't an overly athletic guy. He didn't have great movement. He was slow on his feet. And he was very front foot heavy. You have to look at you can be great at one thing, okay?
Yeah.
But those guys I mentioned were way more versatile than Trinidad. They just were. They could do more things. Like, he wasn't a great athlete. He was just a good fighter. He wasn't a great athlete. Like, Hopkins wasn't a great athlete either, but he had natural boxing ability. He could move. He could slip. Trinidad didn't have those same instincts and defensive reflexes. You know what I mean? He just didn't. He was a great puncher, had a great left hook. He was a good body puncher, but he could be outboxed. Look what Winky Wright did to him. Took him to school.
I agree.
Those guys, when you look at how a guy handles certain styles, and you see other fighters that have similar styles to the guy that beat that guy, that, you know what I'm saying? You can make a fair comparison. Like Muhammad Ali had problems with Ken Norton. He lost to Ken Norton and Joe Frazier. Ken Norton and Joe Frazier have very similar styles. That's why he lost to both guys, not just one.
Right.
So when you look at guys that beat Trinidad, right? Winky Wright, Hopkins.
They were all boxers. Yeah, he has trouble with boxers.
He could be outboxed.
Trouble with boxers.
He could be outboxed. Sure. And Leonard can box. Benitez could box. Whitaker could box. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
Whitaker, Whitaker's one of my all-time favorites, so it's tough for me to go against him in any way. Like, you know what I mean?
I love Whitaker. Whitaker's like my second favorite fighter of all time. Ray Leonard's number 1, Whitaker's number 2.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, Andre Ward's like number 3.
Andre
Ward and Tyson Fury are like
got to be one of the greats.
They're tied for third. Andre Ward and Tyson Fury are tied for third on my list for my favorite fighters.
From Young Merv the Cut Man, thank you so much. He says that athletic, rhythmic fighters give Tito fits, and absolutely, I think boxers in general give Tito fits. Joe Lopez 40 says that the '89 Oakland A's are the best team in history. I disagree. I think the '90 Reds, '75 and '76 Reds are the best teams in history.
Good argument can be made.
Let's see here. So let's actually go to the phones. We got Georgie on the line. Actually, first, let's go to Fight Doctor. I believe it's 312 Fight Doctor. Fight Doctor, you're live.
Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status. Fight Doctor in the house on Rick James status as always. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's happening,
up,
man?
What's up, brother?
So I have to take issue with a comment made earlier about Golovkin being in the same tier as greats like Marvin Hagler. So I have to ask a question. Like,
get him! Get him! Now, Coach C hasn't been here for a while, so now let Fight Doctor give you this work. Get him a body bag.
Eric, I think highly of your opinion. Okay,
thank you,
Eric,
sir.
I think you know something about boxing.
We think highly of yours.
Sometimes I think you let your inner fanboy come out and just completely just mess up your logic. Okay, so I have to ask a question. Based on what? I mean, what has Golovkin ever done in his career to be mentioned alongside greats as Marvin Hagler? I mean, seriously, let's look at what are his 3 best wins. The gift that he received against Daniel Jacobs. What would be? I guess I think arguably you could say one of the 3 best wins would be the gift that he received last night. And then above and beyond that, who really cares? I mean, what has this guy ever done in the whole of his career other than knock out a string of tomato cans and no hopers? Honestly. And you're going to put this guy on the same level as a Marvin Hagler?
How many defenses he had?
Eric, I love you.
But how many defenses? I mean, that's got to count for something, right? Doesn't it count for something?
Okay, so, yeah, all right. So there's quality and then there's quantity. Now, which side of the fence do you fall on?
Listen, so you're saying out of all the people, all the defenses that he had, all the, what is it, 20, how many, how many defenses was that?
It's 20, but here's the problem.
20? Okay.
But here's the problem.
And I know the argument and everything.
No. There's one other problem we have with this. He won the WBA regular middleweight title, not the world. So the streak started when he won the regular WBA title.
Okay.
That's another problem.
I don't like that at all. Yeah, I don't like that either. But but he did have, they consider it defenses. But out of how many was it? 19 or 20 or something crazy?
Who was the best fighter on that list of 20 defenses?
All right, so 20 defenses. 20 defenses. That's a lot of defenses.
Stop.
That's a lot of defenses.
Wait. Stop. It's not 20 defenses, okay? Interim titles don't count, which is exactly what that WBA quote-unquote regular title is. It is an interim title.
Look who we beat
to
get
How
that
are you the
title,
world champion when there's another guy above you who holds a title in the same sanctioning organization that you hold? Okay? So the fact of the matter is, Felix Sturm was the WBA world champion. Until Sturm, that he was either vacated or stripped. I don't recall which.
Felix Sturm's a very good fighter, guys.
When it was.
Felix Sturm beat De La Hoya, I thought.
But
Did you guys see
Felix
that fight?
Sturm-
You remember that fight,
but
Beeb?
Felix-
I do. Go ahead.
yeah,
Jonathan.
I thought he beat him.
Yeah, and I thought Sturm won that fight. But above and beyond that, at the end of the day, Felix Sturm was the WBA world champion. All right? So you cannot have 19 title defenses when some of those defenses are made during the time there's another guy in the same sanctioned organization calling himself world champion. All right? They can't be, look, there's only one world, therefore you can only have one world champion. All right? There's only one WBA. Therefore, you can only have one WBA world champion at 160 pounds. You can't have two.
I've been saying this for a long time.
Gennady Golovkin or Felix Sturm.
Been saying that for a long time.
So if Felix Sturm was a WBA world champion, then Gennady Triple Gift Golovkin cannot have 19 title defenses at 160. World title defenses at 160. No. He has like 10 or 11 world title defenses and 8 or 9 interim title defenses. All right, so let's call a spade a spade. All right,
but for you guys, but for you to not give him any credit, but for you to not give him any credit would suggest that, I mean, you cannot say he's not a good fighter. For you guys to not give him any credit at all, and Beeb, I know I'm not speaking to you, but anybody out there, because there's a lot of people in the chat saying that, you know, he sucks now, of course, and everything like that. But for you guys to not give him any credit at all, come on, man.
He's a good fighter, but he's overrated.
He's a great fighter, man.
He's overrated. Even Teddy Atlas said he was overrated.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go as far as to call him a great fighter, because in order to be a great fighter, you will have had to do great things.
Did you think he beat? Okay. Did you think he beat Danny Jacobs?
What has this guy? I thought he lost that fight.
I thought he lost the fight too. But let me ask you this: did you think he beat Canelo in the first fight? Did you think he beat Canelo in the first fight?
I thought the fight could have gone either way.
Come on,
honestly.
Man.
All right. So if you put a gun to my head, I would say there's an argument for the draw. There's an argument for Golovkin winning the fight. Not so much of an argument for Canelo winning the fight. So do I think the draw was a robbery? No. Do I think Golovkin deserved to win the fight? No. Do I think Golovkin could have got the decision? Yes. But
let me ask you this.
Do I think that he actually
how did you score the fight last night?
All right, so I didn't get a chance to see the whole fight. So what I did was when I downloaded it, it was in Russian. So I didn't watch that. Then I downloaded it in English, and then I watched the last 2 rounds, or like the last 2 or 3 rounds. So I got to see the end of the fight. And what I saw was a guy who looked tired, old, and uninterested. And I forget who was scoring this fight at ringside, but he had Golovkin losing the fight. And from what I'm hearing is that I think Beeb, you scored the fight for Derevyanchenko, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. So did Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did
I had a 115, 112, or 115, 112 for Derevyanchenko.
Boxing Scene scored it for Derevyanchenko. DAZN scored it for Derevyanchenko. ESPN scored it for Derevyanchenko.
The only two people that I found that scored the fight for Golovkin last night that were public were Steve Kim, who had it 115, 112 for Golovkin, and Dougie Fisher. I think he
Why
had
am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, well, we were talking about that too, and they have different relationships. I mean, Tom Loeffler is always on with them and everything like that, and Triple G's on with them. So it's tough, man. It really is. It's tough when I guess they try to. It's tough to go against the guys that go on your show. They're human, you know.
Yeah, okay, so you can be human, but the simple fact of the matter is Steve Kim doesn't know shit about boxing. So let's just be honest. He doesn't. Right?
He's on ESPN. I don't know, man.
He knows shit about boxing. Well, listen, ESPN has had Dan Raphael on their payroll for years, and Dan Raphael, next to Steve Kim, knows shit about boxing. The only person I know who knows less than Steve Kim about boxing is Dan Raphael, okay? Listen, I've known Dan Raphael for a long time. I remember Dan Raphael from when he used to post on Usenet. That's how far back I go. He didn't know shit about boxing then. He doesn't know shit about boxing now. Okay, trust. Okay? And Steve Kim knows about as much about boxing as Dan Rafael does. So, yeah. Why am I not surprised that listen, Steve Kim has got to be the biggest homer in boxing.
Oh.
The biggest, yeah, he is. I mean, yeah. So whatever that guy says, believe the opposite.
Radio Raheem, Jason says that Radio Raheem had a majority of media ringside had Derevyanchenko winning, which I believe. I mean, I thought he won the fight. I thought he was clear on winning the fight. But I don't think you can take, I don't know. I think you guys are a little bit too crazy. I don't know. I wouldn't call him overrated. You guys are taking the Robert stance on this.
Well, again, when you say someone's overrated,
listen.
Wait a minute, Fight Doctor. When you say someone's overrated, that doesn't mean you're saying that they're a bad fighter. You're just saying that they're overrated. He's not. I don't think he's one of the best middleweights of all time. That's just my opinion.
Sure.
Well, listen. If my argument has never been that Golovkin. I'm sorry, the Triple Gift. My argument has never been that the Triple Gift is a bad fighter. All right. No. He's obviously a very well schooled, technically sound fighter. There's no question about that. Okay. He's a good fighter. There's no question. But is he an all-time great? The answer to that question, in my mind, is a resounding no. And for those who would argue to the contrary, my question again is, what has he done? I don't fall in the quality. I'm sorry. I don't fall into the quantity camp. He has X amount of title defenses. Okay, that's fine. That's nice. But against who? Who has this guy beaten? I mean, honestly, the best name on his resume so far in the win column, I think, is Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Got knocked out by, what's his name? Who knocked out Danny Jacobs?
Dimitri
I
Pirog.
forget the guy's name.
Dimitri Pirog.
Yeah.
Okay, but are you saying Danny Jacobs is not a good fighter?
Okay. No, see, again, no. Danny Jacobs is an excellent middleweight, okay? However, beating Danny Jacobs does not elevate you to Marvin Hagler status. It doesn't, okay? Now, is that a good name to have on your resume? Sure, of course. Yeah. Okay, you got a gift in the fight, but still, you won. Okay, fine. However,
well, some people would say Canelo got a gift in the first fight also.
Who is this guy beating? Okay, I agree. And then they ran it back. And what happened?
He lost the second fight.
Thank you. Okay.
We had it a draw, though. Beeb, did you have that fight a draw?
One guy showed up to fight.
I had Golovkin winning the second fight. I'll be honest with you. That's why people
I had it a draw. Beeb had a Golovkin winning. So
people were calling me biased last night.
Yeah.
People were calling me biased last night. How can I be biased when I gave Golovkin the two Canelo fights?
Right.
I mean,
I'm biased too, but I gave Danny Jacobs that first fight.
So Beeb was. All right, so we'll give Beeb a pass because he was having like 420 Sunday night that night. So
we'll give Beeb a pass.
Hey, listen.
So
anyone can argue. I mean, I respect anyone that disagrees with me. Those fights definitely could have been Canelo's. I'm not going to dispute that. If anyone say Canelo won those fights, you're not going to get an argument out of me.
I don't know. I would argue the first fight.
Yeah. Well,
because I thought the first fight was clear. Second fight, if you had a Canelo, I can't really argue that.
Well, here's the thing. The first fight, when I watched it and everything, like I scored at 7-5 for Golovkin. So I mean, you swing one round the other way, it's a
even.
Draw.
Yeah,
it's even.
A draw. So
I
had it 116-112 for Triple G in that first fight, though.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty clear.
I thought it was a clear win for Golovkin too in the first fight.
Yeah.
But I don't think a draw is impossible either. I really don't.
Now the second fight, I got a draw. I think I had a draw for. I had the fight a draw. That being said, I couldn't make a case for Golovkin winning, but I can make a case for a draw. It's one of those things where it's hard to make a case for Golovkin winning. For me, it was anyway. That second fight with Canelo, I thought Canelo had done a good job in that second fight. I thought he did enough to, I thought Triple G had to really rally to pull out a draw.
And you scored that fight a draw.
I did.
Listen, I think Abel Sanchez shot Team Triple Gift in the foot with the whole Mexican style talk, because now there's a certain expectation set. And listen, judges are people too, okay? And even though you're supposed to be impartial, scoring is a subjective art, okay? You have these guidelines, these 4 guidelines that you're supposed to follow, that you're supposed to look for. However, engaging a boxing match according to those 4 guidelines, that process is subjective, okay? And now you have Abel Sanchez running off at the mouth with this whole Mexican style business, and it has to be in the back of the judge's mind. So when one guy shows up prepared and ready for Mexican style, and the other guy wants the salsa, listen, I think that had an effect on the judging, okay? And then on top of that, not only are you fighting Canelo, you're fighting the politics of the business of the sport. And you are not the house fighter. So just on that alone, I think Golovkin was correct to leave Abel Sanchez, because the man is clueless, okay? And boxing is a business, and we all need to understand that. And if you're going to be training a top fighter in the sport, then you need to understand that boxing is a business. And if you're going to, walk around talking about Mexican style, then you need to be prepared to do and deliver Mexican style on fight night instead of dancing, doing the salsa, which is what Golovkin did.
There you go.
And
all right, Fight Doctor, we got to move along, man. We got a ton of people on.
He deserved to win that fight.
I agree. All right, guys. Fight Doctor, thank you so much for calling, man. We appreciate it. I always like Fight Doctor's opinion, man.
I do too.
Whether you like him or don't like him, I always respect his opinion, man. He's always got good takes, and he knows what he's talking about. He's he is biased though. He is biased when it comes to Lomachenko and Triple G. Very biased. He doesn't like those two.
Doesn't like those guys.
Not at all. Not at all. All right, 508 Georgie. Let me bring him on here. Georgie, you're live.
Hey, yo! What's happening, people? Lacking.
What's happening, man?
Yo, we got to go a few rounds, baby. You know that.
His phone sounds good tonight.
My name being thrown on there.
He bought a new phone.
On my name.
Finally bought a new phone.
Nah, I decided to go.
They upgraded the payphones at Rikers.
I decided to go from the good phone.
Would you borrow somebody's phone? You want somebody's family plan now? What's up?
And Will, I just borrowed it and ran with it. Listen.
What's up, brother?
Listen.
Go ahead.
Let's get to the bottom. Now down to the nitty gritty.
All right.
We know it's a robbery. And we know there is what they call the A side.
Yeah.
What is the promoter's favorite fucking guy going to the fight? Who judge is gonna see more his side than that the opponent. We know who they pay all this outrageous amount of money to perform. And having a loss right now, that don't go with the plan. So we already know that. So we got to pass that point. I ain't blaming no judges. We ain't going there. We know all this shit come all the way from the top. Now, when it comes to scoring fights, baby, that shit is not clear at all. We can see here and talk about the 3 criteria. And out of the 3 criteria, they're going to mean something different to everybody.
Not 3, there's 4, Georgie. So you don't even know that there's 4. There's not 3, there's 4. It's not 3, there's 4. It's clean and effective punching, effective aggressiveness, defense, and ring generalship. You don't even know the criteria, though. You said there's 3, there's 4. I'm not trying to be a jerk, man, but you can't have a discussion about something you don't understand. You don't know what you're talking about. You said there's 3. There's 4.
I'm trying. Okay, so there is 4. There is 4, but I am not denying. I'm trying to be educated, like you say, and I'm trying to get into the conversation. Why?
Okay. Now we're making some progress. Pull out your notebook and bring your pen. Let's go. Take notes.
But okay. So what I want you to understand, that it doesn't mean the same for everybody. Either there is 1, there is 2, there is 3, or there is 4.
I understand that.
Why?
I have a problem with those people.
Listen, even that it was a robbery, because we already established that shit. We got to move on from that. What I'm trying to make you understand, That if
already
somebody
passed
got a
it.
different opinion than you,
I'm already past it. I slept like a baby last night. Don't worry about it.
I haven't finished the sentence. Let me finish one. For humanity, baby. Not for me, not for you, for humanity.
Okay. Go ahead.
Listen. Let's go to the point quick to forget all the calls on the line who want to talk. Let me ask Eric. Eric, let's suppose we're fighting. And you connect 2 right hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I connect 5 jabs. Who won that round?
Well, it's difficult to say. I mean, you connected 5 jabs, and I connect 2 right hands. Were they grazing right hands? Did they hit you flush? Did they hurt you? There's a lot more to it. We can't just say he landed 5 punches to 2 and he won the round.
Were you pushing forward? You were circling around the ring as a sign of ring generalship.
Right. Well, that falls under
ropes?
Right.
Did the ropes happen to touch did your bag happen to touch the rope? Showing that sign of ring generalship really wasn't there, because that was a factor that determined the so-called ring generalship. Because if a guy can move around without his back touching the rope, that means what? That he's controlling the guys.
Well, maybe yes and maybe no.
So that's a little factor that.
Maybe yes and maybe no. Maybe you're retreating.
Let's say all these examples you're using, they're not applicable in this fight because Golovkin was being pushed back. He was fighting off his back foot, which he's very uncomfortable doing, and he was not effective, and he's not effective when he's fighting backing up. So he loses the battle of ring generalship because he was being forced back. That's not his fight.
Right.
So he lost. Anyone that understands what they're watching knows that he lost the battle of ring generalship. That was clear.
Yeah, he was getting backed up. Yeah, he was getting backed up left and right last night.
Georgie,
so
my problem.
He was getting his skull again. There is no question about that. But what I'm saying is, like, that situation of your back touching the rope and a sign that you're not really controlling the ring, it could be misinterpreted. So look at what Muhammad Ali did with the fucking Robert Doe. It was all a trap until that moment. Everybody thought he was doing the wrong thing. Look at what fucking Canelo did in the first Triple G fight. He was back too, trying to play that Robert Doe, tried to lower him. And people thought that Triple G was backing him up, but he was setting a trap. So there is many aspects of boxing that you cannot tell somebody or be surprised or offended, especially if you talk about boxing. You cannot go on people like, oh, you this, you that, blah, blah, blah. Dude, there's so many factors and people perceive shit different.
Georgie.
And at the end of the day, we all try to grow the show. That's all.
Georgie, here's my problem. Okay? Now, the way people interpret the 4 categories of the criteria, that could be subjective. My problem is when people say, oh, well, look at the guy's face, oh, well, look at the story of the fight, or look at the body language, or look, the guy scored a knockdown, how could he lose? That's not part of the 10-point must system. That's not part of the scoring criteria. Okay? So if I'm having a debate with somebody and somebody says, oh, well, this guy's a champion, he deserves to win all the close rounds. Like, when people stop making statements like that, they don't understand the criteria of scoring a fight. And those are the people that I have problems with. And then when people say, well, I didn't score the fight, and I ask them, who won? Well, I didn't score the fight, but when I was watching it, it kind of felt like this guy seeed like this guy was winning. But that's not. You can't use those arguments, though, Georgie. They're not relevant arguments when you're talking about scoring a fight, because the three judges cannot use that when they're scoring the fight, so you can't use that when you're scoring the fight. And if you have to understand that, Georgie, you have to understand that.
But first of all,
don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn.
Elected. There is what they call. But listen to what I'm saying. Not even listening, bro. Listen. There is a small amount of people who are fan of boxing who really sit down and score the fight. You gotta understand that majority of boxing fans, they really just look at the fight and say, "Yo, this guy won." That's how it is. I didn't make that rule, but that's the world we're living on. You know, and these people, without them, there is no boxing. So dismissing these people's opinion, that's wrong from the go. I understand they don't hold probably the same value as hardcore that really take this shit to the fucking spirit. I get that. But these people cannot be marginalized. It's only name. We need to fucking grow this shit. I love you, baby.
You can't be so you can't be so fragile all the time. You got to be able to, you got to be able to take a little bit.
I am fragile.
You can't be fragile. Like I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this political correctness that we can't say things anymore. We can't argue. We can't. I mean, come on, man. It's like I'm not here to walk on eggshells when I talk, man. I'm not going to be that person that has to fucking that's afraid to speak his mind, man. If I fucking feel if I'm having a debate with somebody, and they're telling me, well, he won the fight because he scored the knockdown. Yeah, but what if he lost 7 rounds even though he scored the knockdown? That doesn't mean he won the fight. Right. So I'm gonna jump on that guy. You're right. I'm gonna jump on that guy if I'm having a debate with them. I'm sorry. That's just why I'm not gonna sit there and fucking walk on eggshells when I'm talking to people. I'm not a snowflake, bro.
But listen,
Georgie, quickly, we got to get going.
Eric is the likable one. Another quick thing, I know you guys, we're going to be beating this shit forever, but another thing I want to say is about the score system, the 10-point score system. We did that points, right? It's at 10-9. Nobody scored a knockdown, and the other guy beat just enough to win, right?
Okay.
All right.
Right?
Quickly.
Okay. So what I'm saying is why there is never, if there is a 10-point score system, why is never a fucking 10-1, a 10-3, a 10-2? Because judges give enough chance for the other guy to catch up. So ain't nobody gonna fucking knock down I do 9 times in a fucking round. You see, so what I'm saying is that the whole criteria, the whole score system, the whole basic of how we judge this fight is flawed. And the mafias use this shit to fucking guide people that want to be guided. That's all I'm saying. That's all the message. I want everybody to support the channel, support Net Scarlet. Great show.
All right. Thank you so much, Georgie.
Everybody has a right to their own opinion, and I have a right to criticize it.
That's right. That's right.
That's just the way it is, bro.
Speaking of somebody who has an opinion, Jason, 706. You're live.
What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
What was George even arguing? Is he saying GGG clearly won or something? Is that
no, he's mad because I argue with people. It's like now he's trying to censor me. It's like,
well, that's kind of what we do.
That's what we do.
That's
bro.
what we do, right?
That's what this show's like. If we're gonna sit here and worry about hurting each other's feelings,
we can't just agree with everybody.
Then what the fuck are we here for?
Right? We can't just agree with everybody.
Beeb, why are you raising your voice? Okay, I'll whisper, sweetheart. So
yeah, we can't be. Not everyone can be snowflake like Eric and block.
I'm not going to pussify. I'm not going to come on here and pussify this show. It's just not. It's just not going to happen. I have a dick in the balls. I'm going to let him hang, bro. I'm going to let it hang. I'm sorry for the Lois. I'm sorry. I know you don't like when I talk like that. I'm sorry. But I have to be honest.
I don't see how any expert that GGG winning, man. I mean, that guy was getting pushed back all night, and his punches looked like he was forcing them. You know, he didn't look like he had the same velocity and all that. I'm sure I'm not the only one that noticed that.
I've said it.
He had the same power. It just looked like. Go ahead.
I've said it ever since the Jacobs fight that he's not looked the same. That after the Jacobs fight, he did not look the same. He's been on the slide. And now he's going more and more on the slide. And it is what it is. You know, he's getting older. He doesn't have the same snap anymore. He doesn't have, he's on the slide.
Yeah. Chenko was chasing him, dude. Like every time, like, you know, he would stop fucking punching. He was like turning him and chasing him.
Last night.
Next to him.
He was retreating last night.
Yeah, he never gave him a chance to reset or anything, you know? He was fucking on his back for the whole fucking night. Pretty much felt like that. It probably wasn't that long, but I think he just he made like $15 million last fight for easy touch, and he thought maybe I'm just a superstar now. I don't really have to work so hard. Maybe. I mean, that's what people don't give credit to Floyd for. That guy was making fucking $30 million, $40 million, $50 million to fight against like guys like Guerrero and Maidana. That guy was always in tip-top shape, even in his late 30s, 35, 36. He fucking dominated Canelo. This guy's 37, and we're acting like this fucking guy's 40 plus. No, it's just work ethic has to be questioned. You know, Floyd was fucking in tip-top shape. Was he like 38 when he beat Manny? This guy's 37, so we shouldn't be acting like this guy's really that old. Floyd had like 50 pro fights.
Yeah, but Floyd's an anomaly.
Floyd's a different kind of guy too, Floyd's and not to mention.
Floyd's an anomaly. He's an
Floyd
anomaly.
didn't take any shots. He never took any punches, man. Floyd was a defensive genius.
Floyd's first 30 fights, he took a lot of shots, man.
No, he did not.
First 30 shots, he had some wars in there.
Come on, man.
In there.
No, he didn't. He did not have any wars with
Corley.
who?
Come on.
That was not a war.
Dude,
he doesn't get hit,
Corley.
man.
Eric.
Go watch those fights again. I'm telling you, he doesn't get hit.
Chop Corley probably landed. Dude, listen, Chop Corley probably landed 200 punches on him. Emmanuel Augustus probably landed like 300 punches on him. He did get hit a lot. I'm just saying.
No.
He had like a lot of fights, man. Like people act like GG is 45 years old. He's only 37. He should be looking a lot better, but he just doesn't look like he's working as hard anymore. That was clear last night.
No, I think that his stamina's not the same because he's older. You know, he's an older guy. And you can't really compare anybody to Floyd because Floyd's a different type of fighter. Different type of guy, man. Floyd's something special, man. He comes along once every generation. You know,
I don't think he's kind of special. He's just obsessed with working hard. Some people are just obsessed with working hard.
Nah,
Eric,
too.
If you even just listen. If you just compare Floyd's media workouts, have you ever seen any fight? I don't even remember any fighter having a media workout like Floyd. Remember his media workouts? They were like 3 hours, dude. No fighter works out for that long.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was insane.
I miss that kind of shit. Nobody does that. These fucking divas come out, do like a fucking pad roll for 15 minutes, and they're fucking gone. Floyd was to give you like 3 hours of fucking footage.
Yeah.
In the gym. That's the kind of work ethic he has. I mean, that's what these guys don't have. Look at fucking Tank and even Spence. I just saw footage of Spence, who I'm a huge fan of. He's fucking slurring his word bad, like drunk as fuck with his boys. Like, man, I've never seen Floyd fucking even near drinks like that. This guy's drunk and looking tipsy as hell. You know?
No, Floyd is a different kind of guy, man. Different kind of guy.
And also, Beeb, I noticed that in the fight camp, Spence was sparring some fucking fat club fighters from Texas. He wasn't sparring some real pros in camp. He said, these are my homeboys. I grew up with them. These guys are like 200 pounds. And I'm like, how are you going to learn fucking like top level skills if you're fighting these fucking local bums? Don't you need to fight guys like Benavidez, like fucking Porter is? Don't you need the top level sparring? I think that's why he kind of struggled against Porter.
No,
he never had anybody like Porter in camp.
You know, look, I mean, what was it? You know, just because they're local guys doesn't mean they're bums. And, you know, he spars local guys doesn't mean they're not good fighters.
Dude, you can tell, man. You can tell. Come on. You need some real pros. That's why Porter's in Vegas in L.A. because he's getting that pro work over there. You're not
still lost the fight.
Fucking good pros in Texas.
Lost the fight clear.
Yeah, but I'm saying that fight shouldn't have been that close. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed it was. And if I'm seeing fucking Spence getting drunk out there with his boys, I mean that probably has something to do with it too. He needs to work on that. Leave that shit alone. I never saw Floyd do that shit, so I'm kind of disappointed. You know, I haven't seen Crawford do that. I've never seen fucking Crawford or anybody.
I heard Crawford's like a gym rat. I heard Crawford lives in that gym, boy.
Yeah,
he don't stop.
His kids are wrestlers, dude. His kids are wrestlers. He says he goes to all the tournaments and shit.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Listen, Bob Arum is out there. Bob Arum is out there saying Crawford's a great fighter, but he's not marketable. how the fuck did he even go out there and say that? He just said that like 2 days ago.
Did he really? I didn't hear
How are
that.
you gonna say that shit about your own fucking fighter?
Yeah, he's not really marketable. Why not?
Why would you say? Yeah, I was thinking like everybody talks about Crawford's a good father and shit. Why don't they show that kind of side of it? They don't show that. They only show him in the gym and stuff. I mean, that's how you make fighters relatable. If you show the behind the scenes footage like Floyd used to. Top Rank does none of that. BBC Fight Camp did do it, but anyway, man. Oh, I was gonna say, man, isn't this a great year for PBC? Like first Andy goes over there and knocks out AJ. Now fucking who's Al Heyman fighter who fucking smashes the hell out of DDD.
And I tell you, I think the IBF
sending his B-sides over there.
Yeah, and I think the IBF is going to order a rematch for that Derevyanchenko fight last night. I have a feeling they'll order a rematch because where does Triple G go from here? Canelo's going to fight. Listen, man, Canelo's going to fight next month. He's going to fight Kovalev. He's not coming back down to fight Triple G. Maybe he will, but I don't know. He's probably looking for,
Dude, GGG looks so bad he needs Willie Monroe again.
Willie Monroe's a friend of the show. He's a very good fighter.
He's with PBC now. He missed out on that Charlo fight because of that drug test, but he needs to fight. So tell GGG to call that. Dude, I want Charlo versus Chen next. That shit will do big ratings. That's a great fight, isn't it?
Charlo who?
Charlo?
Charlo versus who?
Charlo versus Derevyanchenko, man. Derevyanchenko.
Nah, I want to see that rematch. I want to see him fight Triple G again. Because that's, I mean, well, maybe so. But I want to see Derevyanchenko get that win because Derevyanchenko deserves that fight. He deserves the win. And he didn't get the win last night, but he definitely deserves a rematch because I thought he won. I think everybody else.
You think he should file a protest?
No.
You think he should file a protest?
No, because nothing gets done on those protests. If you want to file a protest to get a rematch. Don't file a protest on the scores. The fight was, listen, man, the scores were all over the place. And I'll give you an example. Like I had given them round 7. And I given Triple G round 7 and 11. Well, other people gave Triple G round 6, and other people gave Triple G. So I can see where the scores. That's why I'm not overly anxious to call this a robbery. I thought it was a clear win for Derevyanchenko, but the scores were they were all over. You know what I mean? So they were tight rounds, and that's what I was telling people last night. They were very tight rounds. But that being said, I thought it was a clear win for Derevyanchenko. I don't think there should be a protest. If you're going to protest, I would protest for a rematch.
I don't think GGG has ever fought somebody that relentless, has he, in his pro career? I don't remember anybody being that relentless against him. Nobody. Can you remember anybody that was that relentless? That would not.
Canelo in the second fight. Yeah, I thought Canelo in the second fight was. I thought Canelo came right to him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's right. Well, Chenko just had shorter arms, so that's why he was kind of flailing sometimes. If he did, if he was the same size as GGG, he would have been fucked, dude. Like GGG would have been fucked if he was the same size. He looks smaller against him on TV.
Yeah, I think, like I said, man, Derevyanchenko's just got the style. He's just got the style to beat him.
He can rematch GGG. I mean, Jacob, because I don't think GGG will fight him. There's no way. There's too much risk for him. So Charlo, I want to see that. That fight will do like 3 million views on Fox easy. That's a huge fight. I want to see that ASAP. Because Charlo hasn't gotten a big fight, and people are always bashing him about a big fight. And why not fight the guy that just beat GGG? I mean, why not? Fuck GGG. He just UW too, so let's fight the guy that beat him. And Chenko's an Al Heyman fighter, so that's easy to make. Let's do it. That's what I want to see. And what was up with that fucking undercard, dude? The co-main event was a guy with 3-0. I've never seen that shit before.
Yeah, he was an up and comer. So yeah, but the Bracero fight was all right. That Bracero fight was okay. Yeah, not a great undercard, though.
The Ukrainian owner really loves GGG. The Ukrainian owner must really love GGG because I don't think any other pro fighters ever had a co-main event of 3-0 guy. Have they? On a big card?
No, but
Can you remember?
No, I've never seen it.
Not even
unless
Floyd,
you're talking. Unless
Floyd.
you're talking about what's his name? What's the guy's name? I can see him in my head. The guy
Floyd
from Top Rank.
Dude,
Stevenson.
Floyd versus Connor at Tank. Come on.
What's that? Connor versus Tank?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Connor. How about
Floyd
Connor? How about
Tank.
Connor and Mayweather? That was Owen. A guy making his professional debut.
You know what I've noticed? I've noticed that people are fucking talking more shit about Claressa than some people did about Connor, who actually punched the old guy in the head. I've been seeing some people call even Manny promotion, MP promotion, like Manny Pacquiao's manager and president of his company, Sean Gibbons. He's calling Shields a ghetto hood rat and all this shit. I'm like, what? And dude, she was just standing on the stage, like, her sister got that stupid ass fucking coach who got her in her face. And I saw videos of him calling them monkeys and bitches and all that shit. Did you guys see that video?
That guy was like 60 years old.
Monkey. He said,
the guy was 60 years old, and her brother cold cocked him.
He said, I'll knock your monkey ass out.
So what?
Well, who says that? I don't care how old you are. You don't go to somebody's weigh-in in somebody's city and say, I'll knock your monkey ass out. God, hey, okay, let's do this, Eric. How about some fucking trainer went to Dublin, Ireland, and started saying that shit to Katie Taylor's sister? You don't think somebody would knock his ass out?
It wasn't like he was a different.
You don't fucking yell at women and tell them monkeys
apples
and
oranges.
I don't understand
apples
that.
and oranges. Those apples and oranges. If one of our trainers went to Ireland,
what's apples and oranges?
If one of our trainers, because he's not Irish, it's apples and oranges.
Who cares? What does that mean? Who cares? What does that mean? I'm just saying people are acting like Flint is some ghetto, extremely ghetto place, but I'm saying this could happen anywhere. This could happen in fucking LA.
What was her sister doing on stage anyway?
Just listen. Dude, she was like a cheap third, or she was like giving her clothes, just saying that that guy's like throwing his hands in her face. Then he walking away. He's like, "You monkey ass bitch! I'll kick your ass. I'll knock your ass out. You ain't no man." And then some guy who was Clarissa's brother who took it personally, and I don't have any problem with him fucking decking his ass. I have no problem.
Because you're a moron.
I mean, I wish he didn't, but if he did, no, I wish he didn't. But he lost it. Why? What you think?
No, he shouldn't have been hit.
To call somebody's sister like a monkey and a bitch?
Listen,
I don't care. You don't call somebody's sister.
Listen, words cannot provoke a fight.
Come on.
That's the law. Words cannot provoke a fight.
So what is he? So why was he hit?
Who cares?
Why was he hit? Why was he hit?
Who knows?
He yelled at his sister, "You're a monkey ass bitch! I'll knock your ass out!" And the brother took it personally. That's what I'm guessing, right? And
I don't know.
How do you know that was said? How do you know that was said?
That was a video. It was on the video. It was on the video. He says, "I'll knock your."
It's on Fight Night. It's on
Fight Night. Bleep out.
It's on Fight Night. There's like 100,000 views, like 150,000 views. Go watch it.
Yeah, this is not. I mean, this is assault. This is like a big time assault. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's
but listen, Eric, her grandparents.
You could have killed that guy. How could you condone that?
With their walkers, dude.
How could you condone that?
Condone it.
He could have killed that guy. Well, you're justifying
it. If you're somebody's weighing and say that stuff, dude, that's not right. Come on.
It's not right. But neither is almost killing that guy either. Neither is almost killing that guy either.
Kill him, then knocked him out one punch. Dude, he took one punch. You took a nap. Come on. Throw some water on him and let's move on.
Are you serious, dude? Dude, come on. You can't. Come on. You're being silly.
This kind of stuff happens in fucking MMA all the time.
You're being silly.
Connor threw a dolly through a bus. Come on, dude.
Listen, and that wasn't right either. But so what? What does that have to do? What does one thing have to do with the other?
This is nothing.
It has nothing to do with it. This is nothing. He hit him. He hit the concrete, was knocked unconscious. He could have died. He could have been killed.
How could he die? It was a one punch. He took it in his mouth. He's like taking selfies and taking videos from the hospital and posting them on Twitter. That doesn't sound like a guy who died.
He banged his head on the concrete.
Stupid.
He banged his head on the concrete. He could have died.
Who said that? Beeb, you haven't seen that. You haven't seen that, Beeb. You're just
No, it was reported. It was reported in the story.
Listen.
It was reported in the story. He banged his head.
Reported. Beeb, did you see what happened last week? Dan Raphael wrote a story on ESPN says Crawford versus Amir sold 200K pay-per-view. Then Bob Arum goes on Barbershop Conversations 2 days ago and says it only sold 125K pay-per-view. So how do you explain that? But Dan is saying 200, but Bob is telling
that has nothing to do with this. I mean, he banged his.
No, you're being silly.
He banged his head on the concrete, Jason.
Yeah, but Beeb, how do you go to somebody's weigh-in and call women monkeys and bitches and say I'm going to knock you out?
Come on, dude. Come on.
When does that ever happen?
Well,
when has some trainer ever said
let me ask you a question. Does it justify?
Can you point me to that?
Does it justify almost killing the guy?
Jason, you want to hear a story? I'm being. You want to hear a story? You want to hear a quick story?
She was a ghetto hood rat.
Jason, you want to hear a quick story?
Why are people calling Clarissa a ghetto hood rat?
You want to hear a quick story?
Why is Clarissa?
Here, hold on. Let me put him on mute.
I don't. Why is Clarissa being called a ghetto hood rat?
All right. Anyway, Beeb, go ahead.
So I worked at a nursing home once, and one of the residents called me a towel head. Am I going to punch that resident in the face? The guy's 80 years old. It's like there comes a point where a person becomes unhittable. James Bashir is James Bashir, unless James Bashir has a gun to your head or a knife to your throat, he's unhittable. He's fucking like 60-something years old. And you're in your 30s. You're in your late 20s, early 30s. You can't fucking haul off and hit that guy. You'll kill him.
It doesn't. None of it really matters because at the end of the day, in the eyes, listen, man, words cannot provoke a fight. You cannot put your hands on somebody because they call you names. That's the way it is. That's the law. That's the way it is. You cannot put your hands on somebody because somebody called you a name. It doesn't work that way. You will lose in court every single time. All right? That's the way it is. You don't put your hands on anybody.
Sir, the judge will be like, okay, Mr. So-and-so, you're being accused of assault. We have a video showing you hit this man. Do you dispute the charges? Well, when the guy called, did you dispute the charges? Did you hit him or not? Boom, guilty. That's it.
That's it. And the bottom line is you could have killed that guy. She could have killed the guy. Her brother could have killed a guy, man.
He fell off the stage and hit his head.
Now, see, I didn't even see that. Now, I thought it happened away from that. From the view I had, and again, I don't know because I'm watching the video or whatever. I thought it happened away from because nobody saw it. Like it wasn't on video or anything. It wasn't on nobody caught the punch because at the end of the day, nobody knew who did it. They said I heard them saying that whoever did it just exited. So he
wasn't on the stage when he got punched.
No, he was off of the stage, in back. You know how when you're at the weigh-in,
I apologize,
and they got the chairs.
Because the story I read had to have been wrong. And I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. So when you see a weigh-in, and then you got the chairs and everything like that, and then behind there, you got all that room behind there because that's where it kind of ends. It happened. Apparently, it looked like it happened there. And when they went to the video and they showed him, he's on the ground, face down, and there's blood coming down, on where his head was. There's blood all over the floor from where he hit his head. So I'm assuming he got hit. He went down, hit his head on the floor, and that was it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's in his mid to late 60s. I mean, you can't hit that guy, can you?
And Reese Mack said that nobody caught the punch because the argument was over. He's right, and I heard it was a sucker punch. From every account I've heard, I heard it was a sucker punch, where you got hit from behind or something like that. And I'm like, that's just crazy, man.
I got in an argument with a guy in the gym that was about 60 years old, and he called me a punk. He called me all these names. Oh, are you trying to be a tough guy? You think I'm gonna fucking punch him? He's an old man.
Right.
I'm an old man too. I could be in the senior circuit, but still, I'm not gonna hit a fucking. I'm still not gonna hit a guy 65 years old.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, come on.
It is. It's nuts. All right, let me go to Hamed. Hamed has been haranguing me for the last 10 minutes here. Hamed, you're live.
Hello, Eric.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, hello, Eric. Beeb, how's it going?
How you doing, Mr. Hamed?
Yeah, I'm good. I just kept first. I'm good.
I'm happy to hear that.
Jason is making stuff up. He's trying to argue two wrongs, make a right. Look, Clarissa Shields is not to blame because he wasn't the one who was arguing mainly with James Ali Bashir. I think it was his sister. But I think some people are blaming her for that video she made where she was trying to say that her opponent should fight when her opponent's trainers just been laid out cold. I mean, he had a serious injury. His nose was busted, and I think someone took a snap and posted it online. He wasn't the one who was taking selfies, but that's what people are criticizing. I still don't think she's in the wrong. The guy who punched her apparently was her brother, which Steve Upshur posted on Facebook, and I think Steve Cunningham also repeated the same. She's denied it. I'm not sure if that was her brother, but that guy ran away. Now, you can't blame someone just because they're swearing or whatever. That woman who I think was Clarissa Shields' sister might have said something also like two wrongs don't make a right. I'm not sure who started the whole situation, but punching an old man, I think that's way below the belt. Running away, that just showed he was a coward. as well, and that wasn't a good look. They ruined a good fight, which has been now cancelled, obviously, and rightly so. And like, you can't defend that. Like, he's either trolling or he's just being a PvP homer. I don't know how anyone could defend that. Like, that looked quite serious. Like, imagine someone punches someone like Bob Adams. You can't defend that. You can't do that over words.
No.
But I was just gonna get back to the fight. I was gonna say I scored the fight a draw. Now I will agree with you guys on this. Outside the first 2 rounds, like, I was tweeting after each round. So rather than keeping the total scorecard on the paper, I just done it like that. I thought only the 8th round Golovkin won clearly outside the first 2. But that doesn't mean that it was a close fight, because the last 2 rounds were close. And I was even saying, if Derevyanchenko doesn't win 1 or 2 of these decisively, I think it's going to go to Golovkin. I scored the last round even. I think if you score no even round, I could see a scorecard of 6-6 with the knockdown being the main difference. Some people disagree because the knockdown happened so early. I got no problem with that if anyone thinks Derevyanchenko won that fight. Because Golovkin did get busted up in the middle rounds, and it looked like Derevyanchenko was the more busier fighter. He was landing the more shots, but I seen a good point from someone, and I also put that out. Golovkin clearly won the first 2 rounds. I think it's quite what's the word? It's quite extreme to call that fight a robbery, because I think after winning the first 2 rounds, I'm pretty sure he arguably won 4 more rounds outside those first 2 rounds. I think up to 10. I got no problem with anyone thinks Derevyanchenko in 7 rounds. I just think in a close fight, I think the knockdown made the difference. I do think it was much closer than the Spence and the Porter fight. I thought Spence clearly won that, about 7-5, maybe 6-6. I could even see how some people had 8-4, although I think that's a bit wide. With this fight, I don't think Golovkin won more than, I think 7 rounds maybe max. I think that was even a bit wide, but it's only 1 round. I won't argue. I think he won about 6 rounds. I do think Father Time was caught up with him, but I thought the second Canelo fight was closer. Canelo didn't get dropped, but he also marked up Golovkin. I know you don't score fights on that, but that shows Canelo was landing clean flush shots. Derevyanchenko, I think a lot of his shots, even though he did do a lot of good body weight, he was slapping quite a lot. He was missing a lot. Like his jab, Harvey Dock told him about 8 or 9 times. Like, you can't lead with the jab. You either throw it or you either block it. I think he didn't. What's the word? He did land. It looked like land a lot of shots, which I think he might have missed if you kept a close eye. Either the gloves or they were being parried. Golovkin looked old. I don't think he's the same fighter he was a couple of years ago. But I wouldn't like play his old card, because he could have taken this fight last year. His team decided not to take it. But I don't know. Do you guys really think it was a robbery, or was it a close fight?
I thought it was a bad decision.
Yeah, I won't go as far as to say it's a robbery, but I thought it was definitely a bad
I
decision.
thought it was a very bad decision.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. But Hamed.
That's okay.
But Hamed, you at least explained yourself.
Right.
So I'm not gonna disparage what you're saying, because you explained yourself. You didn't just say things that are irrelevant. You scored the fight. You scored it. So I'm not gonna argue with you.
I scored the fight, and I didn't have Golovkin winning. I scored a draw. I even said,
yeah.
There's so many rounds. I want to score even, but judges don't score even rounds. So going by how they scored it, I could see the 6-6. The last round, I decided to score it even because I thought Golovkin probably won that last round. I think all 3 judges scored it for Golovkin, but at the end,
I didn't think he won that last round.
Derevyanchenko did some good work.
No.
I just didn't think
he won it either.
I didn't think he won that last round.
Both those last 2 rounds were close. I'll say this. I think Canelo beats both of them. I think Canelo beats Derevyanchenko as well. Like, I think some people saying like Canelo did give up his title, but I think fighting Kovalev at 175 is a much dangerous, a more riskier fight. Even though Kovalev's a bit older, Derevyanchenko is no spring chicken. He's 34 himself. I think Canelo probably should beat both of them. Golovkin, Canelo now, I think that third fight, there's no point. I think Canelo knocked him out. Rightly so. I don't think many people give him credit. He could have taken the fight now, but he wanted to take the couple of fights. I don't blame him too much, but I think Golovkin now, I'm not sure where he goes. I think he probably go avoid someone like Morata. I heard you guys saying he's overrated, or I think it was Beeb.
I said it.
Was it Beeb? I think it was only Beeb.
Yeah. I said it.
I got no problem with someone saying that. I think I get why people say that. He was being pushed and hyped up a lot by the media.
Yep.
Although I've always said you could say everyone is overrated in a way as well.
A lot of people
I don't think he's as good as some people thought he was. Yeah.
I overrate myself. I think I'm better than what I am. I'm overrated. I'm overrated too. I don't have a problem saying it. I'm overrated.
I heard I'm way overrated. I don't know.
I used to think I was good at certain things, and certain people told me I wasn't. So what am I going to do? I'm overrated. I can live with it.
That's funny. That's it. I was gonna say he's had 4 close fights. Even if he was, even if he's past his prime, I personally don't think he was shocked in 2017 against Jacobs and what was it, the first Canelo fight. I think he did slow down because I was at the Brook fight watching it live. This is 2016, and I was even saying he looks old, and that time he was, I think, 35 or 34, something like that. Like, you could tell the guy's legs had slowed down, and then he was still not shocked, or even I'd say faded. He was just on a slow decline, and then I think since the first Canelo fight in September, was it 2017? Since then, I think slowly he rapidly declined. I thought in the rematch at times he looked old. Last night he looked old, but he's had about 4 close fights now. I don't get the whole robbery thing. I think Canelo won the rematch fair and square. First fight was close, but I watched it twice. I gave Golovkin 7 rounds. I'm really not going to argue over 1 round. One judge had it 6-6 and one had it 7-5. I think Adelaide Bird's scorecard was the bad thing. In the rematch, Tom Laughlin and his team all picked the judges, so I wouldn't call that robbery. That was a close fight. I think Canelo was the guy who was backing him up and landing the more power shots. But I thought that draw as well. But on rewatch, I thought Canelo won it. I think he needs to think about retiring soon. Otherwise, I think he could get knocked out. The body shots that Derevyanchenko was landing looked like they were taking a serious toll. I think if Canelo has a 3rd fight with him, I think you probably stop him and get him out of there. Like Golovkin looks really old. I'm not sure how many more years he's got left.
I don't know. All right, Hamed, we're going to get moving here. We appreciate your call, man. Thank you so much. And he's calling from the UK.
Thank you so much,
he's calling
brother.
from the UK, man.
Much
it's
respect.
Like, what,
much
2
respect.
o'clock over there or something crazy?
Yeah, much respect to the UK, baby.
Crazy. Beeb, where do the best calls come from?
OH!
IO.
My man.
Ohio, you're live.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, man?
What's going on? Hit us with the realness, baby.
Nah, man, great show, man. I watched this fight. I actually went back and watched it twice. I didn't have it. I had it 116, 111, Derevyanchenko. I just couldn't see Triple G. He was going back. He was going back in the fight. And like you said, ring generalship, Derevyanchenko, he did all the 4 criteria for the boxing and for you to score it. And even when Triple G hit him, he will always be urgent. Like, he would show urgency to have to hurry up and hit Triple G back because he knew he was fighting the A side. I seen urgency in his fighting style the whole night, man. And so it wasn't hard for me to give him rounds. But when I went back, I actually felt like I said the first time I had it like 117, 110. I had it wide. So I thought, hold on, let me just see. And I gave Triple G the 6. It was like I could see why they gave Triple G the 6. But other than that, there wasn't no round. There was some razor things here and there, but I wouldn't. If you wanted to give Triple G 2, 3 rounds, if you wanted to give him, like 4, I wouldn't argue that. Cool. But he didn't win that fight. But I'll say this.
I'm not a Triple G hater either. He didn't lose to no bum. He lost to a high level, high competition, a great guy, a great fighter. So I'm not sitting on him. I know Fight Doctor doesn't like Triple G. To me, it defeats the argument. Everybody tried to say he was he got exposed when he fought Danny Jacobs. When he stepped up in competition, he ain't knocking nobody out. Well, listen here, we got Errol Spence who do the same damn thing.
What about that?
He does the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
What about that?
He was supposed to be the boogeyman.
Right.
He stepped up. It's competition. He didn't get. It's competition. So Triple G has shown you he's up there with the top fighters in the league. He's having controversy fights. He's having fights where it's competitive. People stop it. How he goes? He has 2 competitive fights with Canelo, who we all know is good. He has a fight with Gennady Golovkin, who he beat. It still was kind of controversial, but they're competitive. Stop talking about this. He's exposed type stuff. He showed you. If he wasn't that good of a fighter, then he's supposed to get blown out the water. Period. Period. Point blank. The point is he's not. But this fight here, what I seen last night, I was rooting for him. I thought it was going to be a tough fight. I just didn't see him winning that fight at all. And he had a lot of excuses. The post-fight, too, he had a lot of excuses. I don't see what Banks did to his game to change anything. I personally, this is my opinion. Y'all heard it first. I think he went and got Banks because he thought Banks was going to give him that black soul type of boxing feel like Canelo, like people say. And he thought that was the plan. I need a black trainer. No, man. Stick to what you was doing. I think he just slowed down. I think he is declining. People saying, but it's not taken away from him. He still was in a tough fight. Derevyanchenko just wanted it more. That's all. Derevyanchenko just wanted it more, and that's all I have to say about that. I agree with y'all. And Beeb, you far from biased, man. Come on, man. Y'all have a lot of great scorecards over the years. Listening to y'all, come on, man. I can't even question y'all. And
That's why I love you, OH. That's why I love you, OH.
That's why.
You bring
Tells
the
it like
truth.
it is.
You bring the truth, baby. Hit him with the truth serum.
But it's just crazy to me. Like, we can't have disagree sometimes. Like, it just kills me. But I would never question you or Eric when y'all
I appreciate that, man.
I've listened to y'all so long.
Georgie's trying to censor me, too, man. You hear Georgie? Georgie's trying to censor me.
That's right. Yeah. Putting a gag order on the Beeb.
He's calling up all these. He's calling up all these groups to try to censor me, man. I ain't having it.
Putting
though.
the Beeb under censure.
Oh man. Well, before I get off the phone, man, I wanted to say what do y'all think about this? Sean Porter's stock rise against Errol Spence because people created this boogeyman type thing. I knew it was going to be a competitive fight, but I wasn't mad at people who had thought Errol Spence probably could get a knockout because he had the skills to do it. But when the people who were shitting on Sean so bad, he's a football player, he's about to be stopped in 3. Yes, he shows y'all. So therefore, no, I was saying, what I'm getting at is, I can see Sean, if he doesn't get any big fights, I can see him coming back. I can see Kenny, I'm going to talk to Kenny anyway, but I would see if they wouldn't mind coming back to Ohio and having a fight in Cleveland against Hopecito Lopez and see, we're getting it out. Against Hopecito Lopez, sorry about that. Hopecito Lopez in the main event and probably a nice undercard or whatever, and see if I think he can sell here. He won a lot of fans over, and I think he can actually come home and actually sell a nice little decent fight like that in Ohio.
Well, why would he
can't get none of the big fights?
Well, why wouldn't he fight? Why wouldn't Sean Porter fight in his hometown of Las Vegas? Why would he come here?
Oh, he can.
He never claims he's from Ohio. Let me tell you something. He never claims he's from Ohio. That's why I don't like Sean Porter, man.
Eric, Eric,
he's a sandbagger, bro.
Listen, Eric, you know I'm Ohio. Eric, I'm an Ohio.
I know you are.
Ohio, but this is it. This is the beautiful thing about it. Sean Porter has done a lot of stuff in Ohio. People don't even know. Like, he got pissed. He came to events in little small young town Ohio to boxing events. He shows a lot of love in Ohio. He just don't do it publicly. And I tell people there are some things that happen in Ohio that some people get away from, and they don't represent it as much because of what happened to them in Ohio.
Yeah.
So I don't take it personal because I know behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If certain things happen, it's the reason why people leave out the state and don't rep it as much. But no, he shows a lot of love. But you did something too. He could get it off in Vegas too. To be honest with you, that's where he at now.
I would love to see him come back to Ohio. I would like to see him fight in Ohio because that's what I would like to see. I would like to see him come back to Ohio to fight. Are you there? Okay, yeah, he's still.
He scared me there.
Yeah, I thought he dropped off.
Yeah. I'm on. Yeah. I said that was it. That's all I wanted to say. I said, yeah, that would definitely be nice to see. We instead of having Broner at times in Cincinnati, but I think he can pull it off in Cleveland, man. I think he can actually pull it off if he wanted to come back here. But I know he can actually bring a crowd now.
Yeah.
Are you guys sad that Broner retired?
Broner retired. We're all broken up about it, baby. Yeah, we're all broken up about it over here.
Man.
What do you think of his new career? He said he's going to be selling rocks.
Y'all have a good one, man.
What did he say? He's going to be selling rocks? Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
That's what he said. He was going to be selling
That's what he
rocks.
said.
Yeah, he did say that.
He's selling,
he's selling bricks. That's what he
they
said.
asked him what he's going to be doing. He's going to be selling rocks. I'm going to be selling bricks.
Well, I tell you what, he would be my preferred dealer of choice. Put it that way. There you go. He would be my dealer of choice.
If I was shopping for that shit, I think I'd go.
I would go to him because he seems like a credible guy.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
That's right. That's right. Maybe he'll sponsor the show. Hey, if you guys want to buy some rocks or whatever, you go to Adrian Bronner. You know.
Want some of the good shit?
Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right, OH.
OH, baby.
All right.
Man.
You guys want the new spider bags? I got the Adrian Bronner special here.
My man.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Rumor has it, Beeb. Rumor has it. We're running out of time here. But I hear Wood is on the line.
Got to get Wood on, man.
Wood from Baltimore.
He's an OG, brother.
I heard he's been waiting.
Gotta get him on.
What's going on?
Wood, you're live.
Wood, what's up, brother?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
We're
What's
chilling,
happening?
brother.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, you're beautiful.
Yeah, man. I want to touch on that Clarissa Shields situation real fast before I get to the Triple G shit. I mean, the energy she had. She got that soul sister, sassy mama shit going. She got that soul sister shit going on. That black woman magic shit going on where she going to sassy everybody and all that type of shit. All that shit sell tickets, but you got to leave those bull dykes and Ray and Pookie home if you're gonna do all that. That's too fucking much. That bull dyke that was shit had no business on that motherfucking stage. Now that guy, that's an old ass man. He was doing his fucking job. He was just checking the scales. And that wild ass bull dyke talking all on her motherfucking head. I don't know if she had a 40 ounce before she got in there or what, but she was straight bugging the fuck out. And this wild Ray came up to hit the old man from behind. He gonna do about 20 years for that shit when he catches ass.
Yeah.
But look,
they caught him. He's in jail.
I want to talk about. Yeah, well, he that's what he deserves. If you're gonna sneak a 70-year-old one, if you're gonna fight an old ass man, at least let him know what you about to do. Don't sneak an old ass man. God damn, that's going overboard.
It's crazy.
But look, if you're crazy enough to fight an old man, don't sneak him. That's low. That's low. And that bull dyke, I'm tired of them motherfuckers already. They running around Baltimore like they crazy. But I want to talk about Triple G. Triple G is over. What's past overrated? That's him. Eat that shit. Anything past overrated? That's him. He was created in the HBO laboratory for a certain demographic that I don't want to name.
Wood is,
he was
he's
created
killing
in a
it. He's killing
laboratory
it.
by HBO.
For a certain demographic
and
I don't
they
want to
know
name.
they sold him. They sold him to a T. And he's a marketing. If you ever going to teach a class in marketing, they should use GGG Korea. It's classic marketing 101. It's perfect. That's how you market to a certain different demographic.
Would you say he's a
analytics.
champion for white people? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, you said it. You said it.
Get him,
I'm
Wood.
asking.
Get him,
I'm
Wood.
just asking questions.
Get him,
You
Wood.
said it.
Trying to stand up on his soapbox over there. Get him.
I can't say that. Only you can say that.
Why can I say it? I'm Mexican. I can't say it either. Beeb, you can say it. Beeb, say it.
Well, you said it.
I'm Lebanese, man.
You gonna take the heat, not me.
I get searched at airports. I ain't saying nothing.
You get searched at airports? Beeb's on the no-fly list.
I get patted down at
I
airports.
want to disagree.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah. But this guy, man, this guy bent Triple G over, man, and violated Triple G last night. And people got a nerve to say that, well, that wasn't a robbery. That was a close fight. This guy could get arrested in like 10, 15, 20 states for what he did to Triple G last night, man. He could get arrested for what he did to Triple G. He straight super duper violated this motherfucker, man. And he gets credit for swinging at the air and jabbing. That's what Canelo, if you go back to the first fight with Canelo, he was just pushing Canelo back and missing all those fucking right hands. And he got counted every fucking time he did it, to the head and to the body, sometimes 2 and 3 piece. And Canelo got no credit for it. Why you think Canelo walked forward the second fight? Because he got no credit for countering this guy, because he missed. He missed like crazy. He got no credit for countering him. So he said, I'm going to walk this motherfucker down and beat this nigga the fuck up. And he did that, and they still said it was a fucking close fight. But you got to chill this motherfucker, man. Jacobs beat his ass up. He lost. You got to shoot this nigga to win. You got to kill him. You got to kill Triple G to get a victory over. If you don't kill him, then you ain't going to get no victory. That's a fact. If you don't kill him, they're going to say it's close, or they're going to say it could have went either way. It's like a script. Everybody keeps saying, everybody reading from the same fucking script. What, they passing the script around? They must be passing the fucking script around, because everybody saying the same thing. He beat him the fuck up. Oh, that was a close fight. Could have went either way. Can't call it a robbery. Everybody saying the same motherfucking thing. I didn't get the memo, because I ain't saying this shit. He got violated. I didn't get the memo.
I was just about to say I didn't get the script either.
Memo.
I didn't get the script
either.
Yeah,
he got violated. But I don't want to hold y'all up, man. I just wanted to say my shit. He got bent over and violated yesterday, man. He's always getting violated. But
they're looking for him right now. They're looking for him right now on the yard.
On the yard?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was
said he's getting the bottom bunk, son.
Old yard beating.
They're looking for him on the yard right now, man.
It was one of them old beatings on the yard. This boy took him to school, folded him up with a body shot, and that ball hit it. Harvey Dock gonna jump in there and save him and shit. Harvey Dock should be suspended for that bullshit he did.
Oh, Harvey
Dock gonna jump in there and save him when he hit him in the body. Go watch that shit.
That wasn't one of his better nights.
Harvey Dock gonna jump in there and save him.
I agree, man.
Man, I'm telling you, Harvey Dock, this all this shit, and that boy may not even get the fucking rematch. That's the sad part about it. He's still chasing Canelo down just for the money. I don't understand it, man. And Canelo's not gonna fight him, because he's gonna talk all that shit about Canelo. He's on PPDs. He's not a good boy. He's a cheat. All that, man. Canelo ain't fuck him, man. He ain't fighting him no more. He already said he's not fighting him no more. So he's done with him, man. He's done. He don't want to fight. No, man. I just don't know what. Y'all might think I don't like the guy, right?
I didn't think
He-
that.
he- he-
I didn't think that
I
at
didn't
all.
get that out of anything
Right.
you're saying.
I didn't get that.
No,
I didn't think
not
that
at
at
all.
all. I
No.
didn't get that. I didn't think that at all.
He's
you're
not
being very
that-
fair to him.
He's been so he's just a marketing. He's just a marketing. He just been marketed very well, man. He just been marketed very well and packaged and wrapped up and sold to a certain people. Now everybody bought this fucking shit.
Sold
he's
to
such
a certain
stupid knockout.
people.
If you put a bum, and they love finding these bums for them, dinner rolls, all kind of motherfucker. They be finding. I don't know where they find half these guys at.
Variety.
Mandatory. Some bum you never heard of. Always some bum you never heard of is his mandatory. He knocked them out and he's such a good fighter, knocking out bums. As soon as you put him in there with somebody who got a pulse or a heartbeat, he getting violated. Every fucking time it happens, every time. The next time he fight a good fighter, he gonna get violated. That's my call, man. That's my call. I don't want to go on no
That
tangent,
might be the call of the year.
That was straight fire right there, brother.
All right, man.
That was call of the year right there.
I'll hit y'all. I'll hit y'all.
All
Thanks,
right,
I
Wood.
appreciate that. I'll hit y'all up next week.
Sounds good, man.
Be good, man. Be easy.
It had to be the call of the year, Beeb. Had to be the call of the year. He called Triple G the white man's champion.
I miss those calls, man. You got to see some of the classics from the
Miss them no more.
Oh my God.
Well, we were on Fight TV. I don't know.
No, we're still there. We're gonna get an extension.
All right, listen, man. We got 20 minutes left. We got all this news and everything like that. Let me go through the. We're gonna blaze through these fights here. All right, so we talked about Derevyanchenko versus Golovkin. You guys know how we feel about it. Israel Madrimov versus Alejandro Barrera. Madrimov wins by KO in the 5th over Alejandro Barrera. Ivan Baranchyk versus Gabriel Bracero, 10 rounds, junior welterweights. But Baranchyk dominated this fight, man.
Yeah.
Beeb, he looked pretty good, man.
He looked really good.
He looks solid. And I know Bracero, he's been around a little bit, but tell you what, man, he looked great in this fight, man. It was all Baranchyk. All Baranchyk.
It clearly was.
Our train wreck of the week, of course, was the Claressa Shields Havana Habazin fight was canceled. And let me just go, because we've heard bits and pieces about it. Let me just go through what I have here. It all started the way in. Claressa Shields' sister and James Ali Bashir, that was Habazin trainer, got into a shouting match. Apparently, a few minutes later, Bashir was found on the ground bleeding and unconscious. Nobody knew who did it or what happened, and the fight was subsequently canceled. That was a thing to me that, listen, man, I don't think Shields obviously didn't have anything to do with this. Claressa Shields, you can't really blame her for this. I don't think she knew about this. I don't think she knew anything about this.
Should have stayed off Instagram, though.
Well, I mean, she took to Instagram to say that it was a reprehensible act. She said it was a reprehensible act, and that none of her team did it, and it was it was a horrible thing.
Did you see the second video she made?
I did not.
That wasn't good.
What did she say?
She said, "Well, I'm not condoning what happened, but dude was messing with my sister. He shouldn't have been yelling at my sister. So I mean, there's a reason why it happened. Blah 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 blah."
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
She can fight, man. She can still fight. I let her come in overweight. Blah blah blah. All this.
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, would you want to fight without your trainer, Clarissa? Come on,
right.
Come on, man.
And how traumatic was it? I mean, that lady, Habazin, was on the floor with a trainer crying. I mean, she was in tears. I mean, how could you fight like that?
Yeah, Ralph said she said flying a new coach. Yeah, she did say that too. Flying a new coach.
Yeah.
And she's trying to say that wasn't her brother in the beginning, but it most certainly was her brother. It's like, come on, man.
Hey, not for nothing, but hey, the same thing happened in Rocky, and he fought without Burgess Meredith. I'm just saying,
And look at the results.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, but
look at the results. Those are not optimal conditions.
You're
Mr.
terrible,
Border.
Beeb. You're terrible.
You think if Lois wasn't here, I'd be doing this show right now? I'd be lost.
What's the matter with you? Anywho. Turns out later that police arrested a guy named Artis Mack for the incident. Artis Mack, of course, is Claressa Shields' brother. So it's just not a good look for the team. It's not a good look for Clarissa. It's not a good look for anybody involved here. The worst part of this all is that you think about the fight was in Flint, Michigan. It's not like Flint's got a lot going on in that town ever since GM left in the 80s or whenever they left. Listen, man, Flint is like a hotbed of nothing over there. So anytime they get a big event over there, it's good for them. This is not going to be good because if I'm a promoter, I'm thinking twice about going back to Flint. I'm thinking twice about, because then now I got to hype up security. Now I got to do a bunch of stuff. And so this fight may be canceled. This is a big deal. From a promotional standpoint, it's a big deal. How do you think Showtime feels about this?
Well, Eric, here's something else that I heard, that the Zone wants no part of her anymore either. Like the Zone wanted no part of her because of incidences with her team. They didn't like how her team acted and stuff like that. So now she possibly could have burned a bridge with Showtime. Where does she go now? Because this was supposed to be, I think this was going to be her career high payday, if I'm not mistaken, from what I was told.
Wow.
I don't know how true that is, but someone said that this was going to be her career high payday. I think I heard T Street Controversy made a video about it, and he's pretty good when it comes to stuff like that. And he said that this was going to be her career high payday.
It ain't good.
If she doesn't have a home to fight on, what's going to happen moving forward for her?
That ain't good, man.
This is like career sabotage.
This is a big deal. This is a real big deal because, again, man, this fight was on Showtime. Look, man, this is anytime you fight on Showtime, it's a big deal.
Well, here's another thing, too. Like, is Showtime going to be around in a year or two?
Well, we'll talk about that in the news and rumors, man. But yeah, you're right. Now, Steven Espinoza's come out and said since then is that they've got fights lined up for, next year and everything like that.
Okay.
But yeah,
look at their schedule. Look at their schedule.
It's bleak.
All the fights are on Fox. All the fights are on Fox now.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer if you're a PBC fight. Even Wilder's going to Fox now.
Well, yeah. It's bleak, man.
And Wilder's mad because of the announcing on Showtime.
And listen, man, the writing's on the wall. Earthquakes, thank you so much. He said, great show. Keep up the good work. We appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that, brother.
So Showtime, instead of having Clarissa Shields as the headliner, they had Jaron Ennis versus Daniel Fernandez as the headliner.
Okay.
Yeah, how about that? Jaron Ennis, of course, wins by third round TKO. Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares. Nobody tuned in for that fight. It was the co-main. Nobody tuned in for that. They tuned in for the Clarissa Shields fight. So what do you, so, they're suffering there. Not to mention, they had to fight Erickson Lubin versus, who's the guy? And I can't remember his name, but anyway, he pulled out of a fight for Showtime next month. So they're looking for a new opponent for Lubin. He was a champion too, and I can't remember his name. I've got a lot of stuff in my mind. Jermaine Franklin, also on that undercard versus Pavlo Sauer. 10 rounds heavyweights. Franklin wins a 10-round unanimous decision by the scores of 97-91, 98-91, and 98-90. So those were the fights on Showtime, that you got treated to because Clarissa Shields' brother decided to act like a moron. And listen, man, again, we can, I know Jason alluded to this earlier. Well, the talk went both ways and everything. Listen, you can't put your hands on somebody. You don't get paid to put your hands on somebody. You just don't do it. Bottom line, So there you go. All right, let's talk about the upcoming fights here. Let's see here. Let's see what we got, Beeb. We got a pretty good one coming up. Let's see. October 11th from Belfast, Northern Ireland on ESPN, Jay Harris versus Paddy Barnes, 12 rounds for Harris's European flyweight title. Sean McComb versus Emiliano Dominguez Rodriguez, 10 rounds junior welterweights. Jesus, this is a terrible card. This has got to be MTK's card, right?
Was it on ESPN?
It's got to be. It's on ESPN. It's got to be. My God, is that like brutal?
Top rank. I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, that's MTK. That's not even top rank. But that's, Jesus, that's a brutal card.
I think Top Rank's like kind of co-promoting these events too, I think.
Listen, I love boxing. I'm not watching that.
No.
Kidding me? October 11th in Mexico City on Telemundo. Ganigan Lopez versus Armando Torres, 10 rounds flyweights. And that's the only notable fight there. On DAZN, Beeb, October 11th from Trento, Italy. Fabio Turchi versus Tommy McCarthy, 12 rounds cruiserweights. Yeah, won't be watching that one either. October 11th, Hartford, Connecticut, UFC Fight Pass. Chad Dawson versus Dennis Grachev, 8 rounds light heavyweights.
Interesting.
I find it hard to believe that Chad Dawson is still fighting, but he's fighting 8 rounders now.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah.
Dude, come on. I mean, that's a tough thing, man. Leeds England, ESPN, Josh Warrington versus Sofiane Takouch. 12 rounds for Warrington's IBF featherweight title. And that'll be on ESPN Plus. Ow, man, that's I don't know. October 12th, Chicago, DAZN, Alexander Usyk versus Tyrone Spong, 12 rounds heavyweights. His first venture into the heavyweight category for Alexander Usyk, and I think Tyrone Spong. Listen, man, Tyrone Spong's a really good fighter. He's a better kickboxer. I don't think he beats Usyk. I think this is a good match for Usyk.
Yeah.
On the undercard, Dimitri Bivol versus Lennon Castillo, 12 rounds for Bivol's WBA light heavyweight title. Anthony Sims Jr. versus Morgan Fitch, 10 rounds super middleweights. So there you go. Charles Conwell also on the card versus Patrick Day. Yeah, so there you go. And that is going to do it for this weekend. That's this weekend's action. I am looking forward to the fight with Alexander Usyk. I'm really anxious to see how he's recovered from his bicep. He had like bicep surgery.
That's a bad injury.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
That's a real bad injury.
And Tyrone Spong is a good test. It's a good test. Alexander is very, he's very technical, but I think it's a good test for him. I really do. I think it's a good test.
It's not bad for a first fight.
No, that's not a bad fight at all. That's not a bad fight.
It's a good entryway in the division.
It's not a cupcake, put it that way.
No.
Spong can fight, man. He's undefeated as a pro, but, obviously Usyk's got a much better resume, but I'll be real interested to see it. It'll be real interesting.
It's an interesting fight.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, news and rumors. Here we go. The Hall of Fame ballots are out, Beeb. Bernard Hopkins, Juan Manuel Marquez headline the Hall of Fame ballot. Sergio Martinez, Carl Froch, Shane Mosley, Tim Bradley, Israel Vasquez, Jorge Arce, Antonio Tarver, Joel Casamayor, and Diego Corrales are also on the ballot, along with 29 other carryovers. Listen, I think Hopkins and Marquez, and they also changed the rules here that it doesn't have to be 5 years anymore. It could be 3.
It's 3 now.
Yeah, it's 3 years now, which I don't know.
I don't like that.
I don't either, because I like you to be retired. I don't want to see a Hall of Famer come back and fight. Listen, you're retired, it's it. Hopkins and Marquez, clear shoo-ins. I think first ballot Hall of Famers. I don't think there's any question about that. Carl Froch, yay or nay?
Yes.
Shane Mosley, yay or nay?
Yes.
Sergio Martinez?
Yes.
See, I give Sergio a thumbs down.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Not this time, Daddy. Not this time. Tim Bradley, yes or no?
Yes.
No. I give him a no.
Wow.
Antonio Tarver?
No.
On the fence with him, I give him a no.
He's not going to get in.
Diego Corrales? I can't do it, man.
He probably won't get it.
I don't get it. Does he deserve to be in though? Corrales?
Diego Corrales. Probably not.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I hate saying no.
What about friend of the show? Vinny Paz, man. Why isn't he on there? Why isn't he in there? I mean, he's a carryover. He'll be on the ballot. 5-time champion, Beeb.
I'd vote him in.
I'd vote him in. Right? 5-time champion. Come on, man. You can't. It's Vinny Paz.
He's a paisan. I'd vote him in.
Right? You got to put him in there, right?
Got to put him in.
No questions asked. Vanis Martirosyan, arrested on domestic violence, man. Martirosyan was arrested for allegedly headbutting his wife. His wife said he is said to have a bruise on her arm, and according to the police report, her nose was, quote unquote messed up.
Oh no.
Yeah, not good, man.
Not another one.
This could have been in the running also for train wreck of the week. This is great. Oscar De La Hoya is being sued by a former DJ, Tattoo. TMZ is reporting that Oscar De La Hoya is being sued by a famous ex-Golden Boy Promotions employee who claims the boxing star would call him at all hours of the night to save him from situations when he was, quote-unquote, highly intoxicated.
Jesus.
Now, listen, I know, we both have been following Oscar De La Hoya. I find it hard to believe that he would call anybody highly intoxicated, make phone calls highly intoxicated. I mean, he seems straight as an arrow to me, but that's just me.
No.
In the lawsuit, Gonzalez says things got weird quick. Imagine that. He was ordered to perform a wide range of highly personal, improper, and illicit non-work-related duties.
What are those?
I don't know.
What
I mean,
those,
they may involve kitchen utensils, but I don't know.
What does that entail?
I don't know. Kitchen utensils.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? Gonzalez said Oscar would contact him and need help from various compromising situations, and in most cases assisting De La Hoya out of life-threatening situations while he was highly intoxicated under the influence of various substances. It's not funny, but
De La Hoya is a mess.
De La Hoya would be a nightmare
He's a mess.
to work for. I don't know how Doug Fisher does it, man. Dougie Fisher has got my utmost respect. All right, because the fact that he has to work that close with him, because he works with De La Hoya somewhat. Hopefully De La Hoya just lets him run his own ship and just doesn't interfere too much. But I got a ton of respect for Doug Fisher for having to put up with that guy.
What do you do when you see him at like employee parties and stuff?
Jeez, probably just go to the bathroom or something like that. Try to get yourself out of there. Call in sick.
And he's tripping all over himself, puking on everything, and
it's insane.
What do you do?
I know. It's crazy, right?
He's a freaking mess.
And they also fired this guy. So things came to a head in April 2018 when Gonzalez said he was in a bad accident. He was hospitalized with serious injuries, including a broken rib.
Broken rib?
Yeah, Gonzalez said he called Golden Boy to inform them that he couldn't work, but was told he needed to show up or would be fired. How about that?
What a shame.
Oscar's all heart, man. All right, Joseph Parker. This is an odd one, Beeb.
Wow.
This is a real odd one, man. Joseph Parker pulls out of the fight with Derek Chisora over a spider bite. He was bit by a spider. That's why he pulled out.
Has something in common with another Parker that we know.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker.
That's right.
He may turn into Spider-Man. We don't even know.
That's right.
Start seeing him swinging around the ring one day. We know that spider had something in him.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. Or if he beats, if he goes ahead and beats Chisora pretty soundly, we know what's up. Piggybacking off the Showtime thing that we said earlier that we talked about Showtime, Fox states there will be 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year, including, including other cards and everything like that on Fox. So Fox isn't playing around, man. I hate it. I hate the pay-per-view model. I wish. What happened to the days of free PBC? What happened to that? Hey, we're free. We're PBC. What happened to that?
You still have FS1.
Yeah, I guess. Heather Hardy popped by VADA. She popped for something called, I think it was Lasix, or it's called, I think the clinical is furosemide, which is a diuretic.
Diuretic, man.
She went to social media and said, quote, "My VADA test results just came back for negative for performance-enhancing drugs, but detected a prescription drug used to treat kidney and heart problems. I told the testing and medical professionals what I took heading into a fight, a prescription medication for period symptoms." I don't know. Listen, it's between you and VADA now. There's nothing I can do about it. But I can tell you Serrano was not too pleased. There you go. All right, guys, we're winding down here. That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1 and find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. I'm at Ringside73 on Twitter, and we will see you next week.
Have a good night, everybody.